I've lived in Korea for the last 2 years, and I've experienced many parts of its culture. But beyond its food or its history, I want to share with you something you may be unaware of. This video documents my deepest journey into one of Korea's most interesting communities. I'm here to introduce you to a world you've never seen before. This is my story.
자, 다음 선생님을 바로 선택기 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 다음 분들 할게요. 셋, 둘, 하나, 반!
Chances are, you've probably seen this video before. Asian DDR Pro, DDR Difficulty Asian. It was the first time I've seen someone play a dance game at this high level, and I was pretty blown away. And on one night out with friends, we stumbled into this machine, and I knew I had to try it.
You ready? Come on.
It's my first time.
You gotta find what you're good at.
That is me on the left, playing the hardest song I could find. Given that I was the best in my friend group, I was confident I could play any song in the game. This is a view of the actual game. You get songs, and each song has 4 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and double, which I wasn't so sure of at the time. My interest would soon lead me to YouTube videos, and by then I caught on to how different their screens looked. A pink background, more difficulties, no easy, medium, hard, a 22? After a few months of YouTubing, I found out there's a secret code at the top of a machine. You enter it like this. And voila, the pink background and difficulty numbers I've never even heard of. 17, 18, times 2? What does that even mean? Well, what I thought to be a simple game turned out to have a whole new world hidden inside of it. And I'm here to take you on a journey through my journey of Pump It Up. Pump is a very simple rhythm game. Arrows come up the screen, and you hit them corresponding to the arrows on the dance pad. You're probably familiar with the DDR dance pad. Now imagine that pad to be a 3x3 grid of buttons. Take the buttons that are arrows and the buttons that aren't, and switch them. And that's how you get a Pump It Up dance pad. At the end of a song, you're given judgments based on your accuracy: perfect, great, good, bad, and miss. Each song has different charts, which is the term for the pattern of notes you step to. They can be orange, meaning they are single charts, where one person plays on one half of the dance pad. Or they can be green, meaning they are double charts, where one person plays on all 10 arrows simultaneously. But what exactly do the numbers mean? And how high can it go? Well, the numbers are relative, but there definitely is a structure that the difficulty levels follow, and what exactly is introduced at certain levels. And as for how hard it can get, there is a level 26. And honestly, it's probably more difficult statistically than getting a Nobel Prize. That is, there are less people who can pass the song than there are Nobel laureates. And passing song simply means you prevent that life bar at the top from going all the way down. And unexpectedly so, I am not one of those people. When I started, I was messing around with single 12s and 13s. This song right here, I was playing a 12. After a few months of practice, I decided to get my feet wet with some doubles, which were really hard to get used to initially, especially the crossover point in between the two halves and how they map to the screen. This is a double 14 I'm playing. The better I got, the more I wanted to show off to my friends when we went out. It was a chance to sort of prove myself, you know?
Wow.
This chart right here, it's a double 15.
오! 진짜 신기해. 오! 아!
잘했다.
This clip is about 3 months later, and here we have a double 18 chart.
야.
Fast forward about 3 more months, and now I'm playing with double 20s. So, what's my skill level right now, 2 years after I first started playing? This is a single 22. It's got 200 BPM runs with some really hard maneuvers, even at that high speed. It's the highest difficulty level I'm able to pass as of August 2018, and passing a song is indicated by that star up at the top of the results screen. And all this progress is possible due to my constant studying of charts and pretend playing with my feet at home. And keep in mind, there's absolutely no memorization involved. So if you blindfolded even the best players in the world, they would fail instantly. Now we talked about the hardest single chart, but we didn't talk about the hardest double chart. Because it's a mess. This is Paradox Double 28. And how many people in the world can pass it? Well, for months after its release, 0 people were able to do it. And it was notorious for being just too hard. That is, until one day. Meet our young little hero, Fefems. Here he is at just 9 years old, playing a double 20 chart. Probably a little better than me at 19 years old. And this is him about 9 years later, taking on Paradox Double 28 after winning a local Pump It Up competition. This was his encore performance. And on this day, he made history, being the first person to ever pass this chart. And since then, nobody else has passed it, even as of today. Speaking of pump competition, Fefems absolutely dominates all of them, despite Koreans being ridiculously good at this game. And yes, even this guy. Remember from the beginning? The song he's playing is called Beethoven Virus, and the chart, a mere double 18. A chart I studied so religiously in my freshman year of college. I would always barge into my friend's room, argue with them over why I need to use their computer, they would oblige, pull up Beethoven Virus Double 18 on full screen on YouTube. Then, I'd take my friend's chair, put it backwards, and use it as a makeshift bar. Then, I'd go at it. Before, I had to watch a video at half speed to even read the notes. Now, it's no problem at full speed. Pump is primarily a solo game. You play a chart using only your own body. However, there are actually co-op charts where between 2 and 5 people can team up on the same dance pad. These can lead to insane showings of skill, or ridiculousness. craziest co-op achievement has to be this. A 2-person chart for a song that's truly a marathon. The players must hit a constant stream of 16th notes at 150 BPM for nearly 6 minutes and 30 seconds straight. Keep in mind, most pump songs are between 2 and 3 minutes long, so finding 2 people with this amount of skill and stamina is extremely rare. I play a lot of pump. Naturally, I fail a lot too. But it's by playing more and more that you become better at reading charts and executing them. And eventually, with enough investment, you pass songs you never thought you would pass before. Even those death charts with crazy fast runs start to become less of an issue as your foot speed starts to increase. There's a lot of interesting ways charts can be hard. Take a look. Broken stairs are interesting because they force your body to face one direction for the entirety of the run. And now we get to the most interesting part, turns. A turn is basically any pattern in a chart that forces your body to cross over, face sideways, and make your legs do some very artsy maneuvers. They apply for both single and double charts, but I think double charts have the most room for creativity. As you see Fefems here, killing this double 24. As for me, I'm pretty decent at them. In my opinion, turns that use the middle 4 arrows turn out to be the most interesting ones. But for single charts, patterns that involve the side 3 arrows can be very interesting as well. But there's a few other things as well, such as one that requires some very long legs.
자, 시작합니다. 자, 마지막입니다.
I've played a lot of pump. I started back in January of 2017, and since then, I have over 1,000 recorded games and 3,000 songs played. And that all amounts to about $1,000 spent. And apparently, I also lost 130,000 calories. But as for what I gained, I learned that conserving energy is super important. After looking back at my past clips, the amount of energy wasted with my leg movement is pretty excessive. Things like raising my leg too high and aiming for the center of each arrow. These are things I learned to avoid with time, as I learned to use my heel and toes more precisely and aim for the corners and edges of the dance pad, rather than hitting each panel dead center. And with enough practice, songs that I would once fail would turn into double S's, or all perfects. This song right here took a year for that progression to happen. And it's happened so consistently with other songs as well. I'm starting to get rewarded, not only with perfect scores, but also with recognition. This arcade, for example, noticed me and decided to feature me on their Instagram. They also gave me a free credit, so shout out to them. I've also played around with things like hand pump or finger pump. Basically, anytime my feet start to get tired, I mess around with any other limb or phalange that I can pump with. I've come quite a long way. From this to this. From this to this. And besides my personal growth, there's a whole list of things I would have loved to show you guys about Pump. I could show you how my camera roll is literally all pictures of Pump It Up and their results screen. I could also explain to you this chart about how skill level correlates with time on any given day, and how I'm able to support this hypothesis after many days of practice. But I think you get the point I'm trying to make about Pump It Up. It defines who I am. I've always wanted to make a video about this game, and I've been writing one in my head for the past 2 years, but I finally got around to doing it. It took way more effort than I thought it would. Months of recording, a solid week of editing, voiceover and acting. I've never worked on a single video for this long ever, and if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for giving this a view.